Good morning. It's 6:23. It's Wednesday. Time for Pet Talk with Dr. Jen Bundy with Northwood Animal Hospital in Grand Traverse County. Thanks for joining us once again, Jen.
You're welcome.
Always appreciate it. It's always a scary experience when your dog or cat, your pet, is sick.
Right.
But there's a few home remedies. Of course, you're the expert. If there's a serious enough problem, of course, always go to the vet. But you're here to talk about some home remedies for dogs and cats. And what's the first thing on the list that you can give them?
Some are emergencies. Some are just strictly cosmetic and to make your pet feel better and look better. And the first one's vitamin E. So vitamin E is really good for your pet. A lot of people use fish oil, and they'll use it for themselves as well. You know, it's good for your older age skin lines and smile lines.
Sure,
but it's also good for your pet too. It provides moisture. It locks in the moisture in the outer layer of skin, so you don't get as dry of a skin. You don't get that flaking. Fish oil has a very, very small amount of vitamin E in it, so there are better sources. But if you have fish oil at home and your pet has dry skin, go ahead and use it.
Do you have to crack open the capsule?
You don't.
And put it, you can just.
No, my dog, I used to give fish oil, and she would actually just pop it. You could hear her pop the gel cap in her mouth, and then she'd lick it right up. So
okay. So your dog liked it then?
Yeah.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so Gatorade or sports drinks is also on the list too.
Right, so sports drinks are good. And this could be in more of a case of an, not true emergency, but your pet is feeling ill. They might be dehydrated. Maybe, you know, your pet has been vomiting or had diarrhea recently. If it's severe, obviously call your vet. But if it's off and on, they're not drinking enough, you don't think. If you have a hunting dog or an active dog and you know that they're going out on the field and they're going to become dehydrated, go ahead and give some Gatorade or Pedialyte. This is great at not only providing the water that they need, but the electrolytes as well.
Now, in your time speaking with your patients, human patients, I suppose, are they scared to give their dogs or cats these kinds of things? Human food, is that a concern?
Some of them are very surprised. So you know, if we have a dog obviously in house and they're dehydrated, we won't give them IV fluids, but when we release them home, we want to encourage that drinking. And so we do tell them to give Gatorade or Pedialyte, and I get a lot of shocked faces, but it is good for them. Okay.
And then the last thing we're going to have later in the show, we're going to have more home remedies for dogs and cats, but yogurt. I find this interesting as well. What would your dog or cat have to be doing to give them yogurt?
Well, yogurt is extremely good for us, and it's extremely good for your pets as well. And this is for cats. Both my cat and my dogs get yogurt every day. Plain yogurt. Okay. Doesn't have to be the fancy stuff and the Greek and this and that. But they won't know. They're indiscriminate eaters. But you've all seen the commercials for Activa yogurt and how it prevents GI health, puts the good bacteria back in the intestines, and it does the same thing for animals. So we want a balance of good and bad. Well, there is a balance of good and bad. We want more good than bad, otherwise it can cause diarrhea. When we as vets give antibiotics, it knocks out not only the bad bacteria that we want it to, but also the good. And so we need to replenish that good bacteria. We do this by giving something like yogurt, a probiotic for them. So probiotics not only good for animals that are on antibiotics, but it is good for everybody.
Well, thanks, Jen. Good tips, and like I said, we'll have more coming up with Melissa and Jen in just a little bit.
Good morning. Dr. Jen Bundy with Northwood Animal Hospital is back to talk about some home remedies, Jen, that you can use for your dogs and your cats if maybe they're feeling under the weather.
Yeah, if they're feeling under the weather, if they have itchy skin, if they have an open wound, if they're a little dehydrated, there are some things that you can try by yourself before you call the vet.
Okay, starting with chamomile tea, something that you probably just have in your cupboard.
Of course, like everybody drinks chamomile tea.
Right.
Or some kind of tea.
Sure.
But chamomile actually has some special properties. You know, we drink it at our house if you have a sore throat, an upset stomach. It actually has an anxiety remedy in it as well.
No kidding.
So if people are stressed out, they might drink some chamomile tea. Some people have heard of it, some people haven't. But we can use it on pets too. So if pets do have, you know, a sore throat or an upset stomach, maybe they vomited a little bit, they're just not feeling well. If they're a high anxiety animal, we have a lot of dogs and cats that are, it's okay to give them chamomile tea. It also helps with irritated skin. So what you can do is make up a big batch of the tea, put it in the fridge for a while. You can either apply the tea bags directly to the irritated skin, or pour it in a water bottle, stick it in the fridge, and then you can spray it on irritated skin or spray it around your pet to decrease the anxiety. It's worth a try.
And it smells good too. So there
Smells
you go.
good too.
Does it matter if it's caffeinated or decaf?
No, it doesn't. I think that chamomile tea is actually decaf.
Oh, it is. Okay,
yep.
so perfect.
Yep. You're good there.
What about oatmeal?
Yeah, I think that everybody has heard of putting oatmeal on itchy, irritated skin.
Right.
And this is okay. They make all sorts of oatmeal. You can buy it in shampoos. You can buy it by itself. You can buy it in conditioners.
Right.
And this is for itchy animals, dog or cat. That have some irritated skin.
Okay.
And you can use it in a few different ways. You could always use it as a shampoo. You can use it as a conditioner. You can actually pour it right in the bath water, some warm water, and just submerge your pet head out, of course.
Sure.
But leave them in there for a couple minutes to help with that. I think the best way to use it is to take some baby cereal of the oatmeal. Any parent knows what that is. You buy it in the baby food section. Put a little warm water on it and then apply it to the irritated skin, kind of like we do as a face mask.
Okay.
But the best part about this is even if they eat it all off,
it's perfectly safe.
Right.
And that's, again, for dogs and cats.
Correct.
What about Epsom salts? We hear about this too, people using this all the time.
Yep, and I recommend it all the time. So if your pet has an open wound, of course, that isn't too serious. If they have a lot of swelling, you know, some dogs will go out and on this ice now especially, they'll get some swelling, little cuts on their paws. This is a wonderful thing you can do at home. Works well for dogs, not so much for cats. They're not going to want to sit still and put their foot in a bucket for 5 minutes. But all you're going to do if you have some swelling, if you have a small wound, if you have a little toenail that maybe has a little pus in it from a cut, you're going to take 1 cup of Epsom salts, put it in a gallon of warm water, and leave that foot or the leg in that wound, or in that water, excuse me, for 5 minutes. You can do this twice a day. This, of course, you don't want to let them drink. This is the only thing out of all of the things we talked about this morning that you don't want them to ingest. But it's great. 5 minutes in there, twice a day, a cup per gallon of water. You probably have to use a few more gallons if you're using a sink or if you're using a bucket. But it's phenomenal.
Simple solutions that everybody probably has around the house, and it's nice to, you know, kind of fix it before you have to get to the vet, you know, kind of stopping it before that happens actually.
And it's always nice, you know, we're all fixers out there. If something is wrong, we want to do something. We don't want to feel helpless, and these are all little tips of something that you can do so you don't feel helpless at home.
Excellent information as always, Dr. Klabundy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
For more information, we put all of the interviews on our YouTube page, Up North Live, so check out this if you would like more information for those home remedies for the pets.